A little wishful thinking on my part, but you never know. So during San Diego Comic Con, we've learned several things about Captain Marvel, and a few bits of information revolving around the film in general. For starters, we do know that Captain Marvel will take place in the 90s, therefore the film will take place well before Phase 1 in the MCU timeline. Not to mention that Nick Fury will make an appearance with both of his eyes intact. Also, the Skrulls will be the main antagonists for Captain Marvel, but most importantly, Captain Marvel will adapt loosely on the Kree-Skrull War. And seeing as how Carol Danvers' origin is very heavily tied with the Kree, this makes all the sense in the world. But this has me thinking about a certain character that has already been established in the MCU and would make sense to appear in Captain Marvel. And of course, I'm talking about Ronan the Accuser, who made his appearance as the main villain for the first Guardians of the Galaxy film. And yes, I know that Ronan did die in that film, but to me it would make perfect sense if Ronan did make some sort of appearance in Captain Marvel. Now obviously Ronan is of course a Kree himself, but is also debatably one of the most important members of the Kree Empire. His role of course being a Supreme Accuser, and plus his return would make sense considering that Captain Marvel is set in the 90s, therefore Ronan would still have to be alive at that point. And I know the MCU often change things in relation to the timeline and what happens from the comics, but Ronan did have a pretty big role in relation to the Kree-Skrull War. And because of how grand the war actually is, you would assume that the Kree would summon every single warrior that they have, including Ronan. And seeing as how the Kree often have an enhanced lifespan in comparison to humans, it wouldn't surprise me if Ronan would still remain the same. And by that I mean he still remains as the Supreme Accuser. Now I can't deny that Ronan as a character was a little underdeveloped in Guardians of the Galaxy, but with that being said, I still think that Ronan is one of the better villains in the MCU. He was powerful, intimidating, cunning, and above all else more or less a Kree Hitler. And if they weren't to include him back in Captain Marvel in some way, shape or form, then I think that that is a wasted opportunity. Because in the comics, Ronan had more of a code of honor and is often seen as more of an anti-hero. But I think it would be pretty interesting if we get to see Ronan as more of this anti-hero throughout Captain Marvel, and then by the end of the Kree-Skrull War, and then by the end we get to understand as to why Ronan cracked and became insane. Plus originally, Ronan was meant to be more relatable in Guardians of the Galaxy before they decided to turn him all evil. So why not use that concept for Ronan and then just reintroduce him in Captain Marvel? Again, this idea is a lot more out there, but I don't think that this is far from impossible. So do you want to see the return of Ronan in the MCU, and do you think it's possible that he will make a reappearance in Captain Marvel? Comment below and share some thoughts. And as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, take care and have a good one.